Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Color Cup and let's see if we can get some wins. We're going to be trying out the Poliwrath paired with the Morpeko and the Shadow Magnezone in the back. We've got an interesting lead here. We don't necessarily want to switch out, but we're not really dealing any fast move damage. We tank the first one, ends up being the Shadow Ball. We are able to survive it, but you can see we're going to pressure our opponent with a potential skull, but we actually bait. Now we're going to go for the skull. We are going to get the shield, or is going to get the KO. They actually barely survive, and that is really unfortunate. We decided to go into the Magnezone because we get a free volt switch. We tanked the Shadow Ball, and then we're going to have to try to win this game with the Morpeko. Let's see if they end up shielding. Yes, they do. So GG's to our opponent, unable to beat that mud slapper in the back. That's just a really RPS team, unfortunate. Maybe if we had possibly, I don't know, shielded the Shadow Ball against that Marowak, things would have turned out way better. But on to the next game. So once again, the main core is the Poliwrath with a electric. So it is going to be a combination of AVB, but also Poly / the very spammy Morpeko. Okay, unfortunately, we didn't win the first game, but here we go. Let's see if we can recover. We're going to have the Poliwrath versus Cacturn. Shadow Cacturn is very interesting. We're dealing some good fast move damage. Our opponent switches into the Camerut. Camerut, very spammy, you can see right here. Earth power is reached, but we are going to have to throw a move. We throw the Icy Wind. They were going to shield anyways. We can't really switch out because we don't really want to see that. Now we're going to see the Mud Slapper of the Gastrodon, and that is really unfortunate. We need to take this out immediately. They are going to reach a move here. We're going to shield. Ends up only being the Body Slam, and now we have no choice but to go for another Icy Wind. Let's see if they end up shielding here. Nope, they let it go. Now we see the Cacturn, but the Cacturn is chunking away at our Magnezone. We're going to fire off the Mirror Shot. We don't get the debuff, so now we're going to have to try to win this game with this Morpeko. Morpeko, can it survive a move? Let's find out. No, ends up having the Dynamic Punch, and unfortunately the one counter we get from the Poliwrath wasn't enough to win the game. So GG's to our opponent. Tough game right there. Unfortunate. All right, we got the Poliwrath versus the Quagsire. The Quagsire is staying in. We definitely don't want to see the Quagsire in the back, so at least we see it where we can damage it. Looks like we are going to fire off the Scald. The Scald ends up getting some good damage. They go for another Mud Bomb, then they finally switch out. We go into the Magnezone. Magnezone is going to be able to tank these moves. However, we only can tank one. We're going to fire off the Mirror Shot right here to chip away to get it in range of a Wild Charge. Now we're going to go for the Wild Charge. They end up shielding it. And down goes our Magnezone. So now we got to try to beat this Superior with our backline. Looks like we only can go in with our Morpeko. Morpeko has to shield this first one. Ends up being the Frenzy Plant, so that was a great shield. We're going to shield again, and now we're going to try to just outpace this Superior. We fire off the Aurora Wheel, one-shots it, thankfully, and now we have to try to win this game with the Morpeko. They come back in with their Quagsire, but the Quagsire doesn't have the shield, and we do take it out. We get the extra boost. Now we're going to have another Aurora Wheel to go through. They decide to shield that one. And now it's going to be all a matter of trying to catch the move. We do catch the move. brine is used and they get 2 extra poison jabs. We're going to go back into the Morpeko, fire off the Aurora Wheel. Will this be enough? Boom! Yes, it will. So barely enough to take it out. GG's to our opponent. Had to catch a move to win that game. That was very, very lucky. And seeing the superior kind of beat the Magnezone was a little bit unfortunate as well. Shadow Kingdra is up. We're going to switch out into our Magnezone. We build up and we fire out the Mirror Shot. Mirror Shot chips away, but it doesn't get the debuff. So it looks like our opponent here is going to be able to throw a move. We can resist all the moves. And now we're just going to go for back-to-back Wild Charges, I believe. Thankfully, the Wild Charge takes it out from that range. We have an extra move. This Wild Charge will get the shield from the Kingdra. Come back in here with the Poly and potential Outrager. Do we believe him? Let's find out. Oh, ends up being the Outrage, and now we have to try to win the game with 2 shield Morpeko. At least we see the Toxapex. Toxapex in the back is favorable for this Morpeko. We have to shield here no matter what. We're going to look to farm it down, and then we're going to try to get to 2 moves against this Kingdra. We fire off a Aurora Wheel. This is going to get the shield or is going to get the KO. They don't believe us. Down goes the Kingdra. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game with the Morpeko again. So yeah, Morpeko with some shields and some energy advantage kind of goes crazy. Let's see if we can end up on a good note. We got a terrible lead. Jump Up is difficult to deal with. They decided to switch out into their Quagsire. The only good news is at least we see it here, but this Quagsire is going to be able to farm us down. We deal about 70% damage, so at least we have that going for us. Got to try to get the farm down with our Poly, and it's just going to come down to what they have in the back. What do they have for our Morpeko? We're going to have to tank this move again. Is only the Aqua Tail, and we see the Jump Up come in immediately. We're going to fire off this Icy Wind. We do get a shield, which is nice. We try to catch a Aerial Ace, but looks like our opponent was patient enough. Here comes the Energy Ball. Unfortunate, we get the debuff. We try to call a move right there, but unfortunately it was not the right play. Now we're going to see the Aerial Aces coming, I guess. And we got to try to win this game with this Morpeko. Ooh, great catch by our opponent, but it still would have been very difficult to win because I don't think we could have farmed down that Quagsire from our health range. So GG's to our opponent, unable to win that game. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.